The piercing glare of emergency lights splashed across a deserted desert road outside a forgotten town in New Mexico. Deputy Frank Dobbs leaned his bulky frame on the side of a rusted-out Ford Bronco, his posture stiff, eyes hard. Inside the vehicle sat a composed older man, brown skin, stone-calm face. The lack of fear instantly annoyed Dobbs. Perfect, he muttered internally. Another one of these cool types who thinks they've got nothing to worry about. License. Registration. Dobbs snapped, voice curt and commanding. The driver, Luther Briggs, moved slowly, carefully, with a calmness that almost felt provocative. Got it right here, officer, he said in a gravelly voice, handing over a creased ID and registration slip. On the other side of the cruiser, rookie Deputy Jordan Keller adjusted his belt, fingers drifting too close to his holster. You aware why we stopped you tonight, sir? Taillights cracked. Briggs responded without flinching. I've got the replacement at home, just haven't swapped it yet. Dobbs flicked on his flashlight and examined the documents. Luther Briggs, he said aloud, emphasizing the name like it was a joke. What? Some kind of preacher name? He flipped the papers again, irritated to find no criminal record. Not even a parking ticket. Then an old Navy coat? Keller asked, trying to make conversation. Briggs nodded once. Long time ago. Did my time, he replied. Dobbs squinted. What outfit? Intelligence Support Unit, Briggs said, his gaze now directed far beyond the deputies, to the horizon. The weight in his voice made Keller shift his stance. Intelligence, huh? Dobbs smirked. Probably meant you were peeling potatoes in some base kitchen. He tossed the paperwork at Keller and gestured toward the glove compartment. Let's have a look in there. Briggs didn't move. Looking for something specific. It's a standard search, Dobbs lied, his tone thick with disdain. Vehicles like yours don't usually cruise through here without a good reason. Briggs looked straight at him for the first time. There's a handgun in there. Colt 1911, legal, registered. Dobbs' eyebrows lifted. Jackpot. And you didn't think to mention that before? You didn't ask, Briggs said flatly. That did it. Dobbs yanked open the door. Out of the vehicle. Hands where I can see him. Briggs stepped out with slow, measured movements, palms raised. Despite the tension, he moved like a man used to worse. The weapon's not loaded, Briggs said. Been locked in that box since 1980. Keller pulled the gun from the compartment. You got a permit? Briggs nodded. Back right pocket. Dobbs snatched the permit and scanned it, not hiding his disdain. Looks real official, he sneered. But I'm not impressed. He spun Briggs around and slammed him against the Bronco. Hands on the hood. Keller fished out a weathered wallet and removed the permit. Frank, he said uncertainly. It's good. State and federal certified. Dobbs slapped the cuffs on anyway. I don't care who signed it. Something's off with this guy. As they walked him to the cruiser, Briggs mumbled, 86. Pulled 12 school teachers out of a rebel compound in Bolivia. Nobody wrote about it then, either. Dobbs laughed harshly. And I'm the governor of Texas. Get in the damn car. Back at the station, Dobbs hammered out his incident report. Keller stood by the cell, watching the older man, who sat motionless on a bench. Dude hasn't blinked in 10 minutes, Keller muttered. Gives me the creeps. He's a nobody, Dobbs growled. Just another crank with a hero complex and a pistol he shouldn't have. Deputy Rachel Menendez walked over from the front desk, a frown already forming. You guys run a full ID scan before locking him in? We were getting to it, Dobbs shrugged. You're supposed to do that first, she snapped. What if he's got medical conditions? Or if his story's legit? He claimed he worked classified intel, Keller added with a chuckle. Great. Another old soldier who thinks he's Jason Bourne, Dobbs muttered. Inside the holding cell, Briggs finally spoke, voice low and deliberate. Either of you ever had to shoot through a windshield while someone's using a kid as a shield? They turned to look at him. Dobbs walked toward the cell window. Come again, he said. You ever had 5 seconds to choose between a family dying or one man bleeding out to save them? Briggs' voice was calm. You ever feel responsible for something no one else will ever know about? Dobbs scoffed, but Keller was quiet now. At that exact moment, a red alert icon lit up on the computer. Not local, not state, federal. Before anyone could ask what it meant, Line 3. The emergency line that never rang blared. Dobbs picked it up. Coldwater County Sheriff's Station. The voice was sharp, clinical. "You are holding Luther Briggs." "Who is this?" "Agent Ramirez. We're arriving in 6 minutes. Do not touch him. Do not speak to him. Do not ask another question." Then the line went dead. What the hell was that? Menendez asked. Dobbs stared at the receiver, pale. Then, headlights outside. 3 black SUVs pulled up. Doors opened in perfect sync. Men in suits strode in, looking like they owned the air. The leader, Agent Ramirez, moved straight toward the holding cell, ignoring Dobbs entirely. One of his team booted up a secure laptop at the front desk. All files. Every video, every comment. "Now, you can't just," Dobbs started. "You're detaining a priority-level federal asset," Ramirez said, turning slightly. "If you have a problem, call the defense secretary. I'll wait." He walked to the cell and punched in a code. "Lieutenant Briggs." Briggs stood, joints cracking. "Took your time, Ram." "Construction on 84, Ramirez replied dryly. "You treated him with respect?" he asked the room. "You better hope so." Agent Ortiz spoke from the computer. "Confirmed. Briggs Luther, retired lieutenant colonel. Operated under Strategic Intel Directive 17. Serve in over a dozen black sites. Commendations up the chain." Dobbs looked stunned. "Why is he even flagged?" Ramirez answered slowly. "Because that pistol you seized is connected to an op that stopped an international incident in '89. And someone leaked his name. He's being hunted." "Wait," Keller stammered. "Someone's looking for him." "Not someone," Ortiz replied. "Multiple parties. 3 others from his team disappeared this month." Briggs took his sidearm back in a sealed case. "Maybe next time, officer," asked before assuming the worst. Menendez stepped forward. "Sir, you dropped these." Briggs looked down. "Dog tags. Worn smooth." He nodded, then glanced at Dobbs. "You ever get a bad feeling about someone, and instead of listening to it, you choose to be suspicious instead?" Dobbs had no answer. "You should have asked who I was," Briggs added. "Not what you thought I was." As they turned to go, Ramirez gave one last look to the 2 deputies. "You flagged a protected national intelligence asset. Expect a review. And next time, don't let your badge blind you." Weeks later, Deputy Keller was reassigned to station clerical work. No car, no badge, no respect. Dobbs' suspension turned permanent. His badge now gathered dust in a box in a government office. They thought they were dealing with an old man in a worn-out truck. Instead, they just embarrassed themselves in front of one of the country's most dangerous protectors.